Hey, good day. Wagwan people. Welcome to another edition of My Opinion. And in my opinion, we normally look at news, sports, general activities in and around the world, especially in Jamaica. This morning our topic is the COVID situation in Jamaica. But first up, I want to tell you you can just like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell so as soon as a video is released, you'll be the first to be notified. So, two communities in Jamaica in the last 3 days have been placed under lockdown. The one is in Church Corner in St. Thomas, and the other is Sandy Bay in Clarendon. Of note, the one in Church Corner has 16 positive cases. That's the one in St. Thomas. And the one in Clarendon, Sandy Bay to be specific, has 6 positive cases and 13 with symptoms. Now, these two communities have been placed under 14-day quarantine by the government and locked down. Now, the one especially in Clarendon was really started by a pastor disobeying the rules of law. And there lies the big problem. Because first up, if you're a man of God, the first thing you ought to know is that you have to follow the rule of law of the country. And what I've noticed over since the government has slightly lifted the restrictions, opened the border, a lot of people are not adhering to these strict guidelines. They're not following the rules. They do whatever they want. Now, it's either these persons are naive or stupid, or they just don't care, because they should know the dangers and the implications of this dreaded pandemic, COVID. Now, the problem is when someone contracts this virus, it is spread so easily. And a lot of these persons that spread the virus, some of them are mainly young persons, so they don't have any like underlying sicknesses that will be affected. However, the transmitting this virus to the elderly folks who has underlying sicknesses will create havoc. Luckily, Jamaica hasn't been that bad in terms of the death ratio. Take for instance, if you look at New York in America, how many people have passed since this virus came about, right? And Jamaica have been doing an excellent job, and the government of Jamaica must be congratulated. Kudos to the Andrew Holness-led government so far. They have done a fantastic job in keeping the numbers down and keeping the death rate down. The frontline workers, the health workers, the police, the security forces, the JDF, all these people have been doing a very commendable job so far. But yet still, we have some people that is so naive, so stupid. They go about their business, no mask, no care, and just go about their business. Now, persons can be infected by these persons. Some persons don't know that they have the virus. They don't know they have the symptom, but yet still they go about their business, don't care about anybody else. And there lies the problem. We have seen also where the police force have closed down sessions, parties, arrested 41 persons at a session recently in Spanish Town. Now, how can we know that there's a virus and the implications of the virus, and there's no social distancing being observed, there's no mask wearing? Now, when this virus escalates, there lies the big problem. What is the big problem? The country will end up going back into a stage where they might have to close their borders, close the country, and people will start losing jobs. all sort of financial implications on the country, on the business sector, on the health sector, and all these things. Sooner or later, the resources in Jamaica, you'll hear they say they can't afford ventilators, they don't have ventilators. So then at that point, then you'll have the escalation of the death rate, because as we speak today, Jamaica have only registered 13 deaths. Right now, as we speak, they have 1,003 confirmed cases. 745 have recovered. They say 190 are active and 6 moderately ill. Whatever moderately ill means, I don't know. But at the end of the day, this is the numbers that we have. And it hurts sometimes. You look, and when you look at the on social media, various social media platforms, you see the Jamaican people going about their business, no observance of social distancing. You see they're having kids parties. When you look, two persons alone have their mask on. Nobody in that environment has the mask on. So it is the Jamaica right now is a disaster waiting to happen. Now, we hope and pray that good sense will prevail. The Prime Minister is trying to instill some rule of law that these people will follow to prevent this virus from escalating. And as I said, Jamaica have been commended by the World Health Organization, various top level countries, about how well they have done in terms of keeping the COVID situation under control, minimizing the death. Now, we know Jamaica is a small country, so Jamaica will quickly have to reopen their borders. One of Jamaica's main income is tourism, so opening the borders to tourists is another means of getting the country economy stable and running. But then again, here lies another problem. The persons that are coming in, they should be quarantined for 14 days. A lot of them not quarantined. We see where the police have charged social media sensation Amari for breaching quarantine rules. Now, you leave an entire country at risk with your promiscuous behavior. We ask you, and we hope that good sense will prevail and the government will get this thing under control. It will not escalate and be of any devastating impact on the country's economy and the people. Now, the other part that I'm really hurt about is to see persons proclaiming to be Christians disobeying this rule. Now we know, I don't remember the exact amount that they say must be in at one given place, but if you are conducting a church service in this time, it is far easier for you to use social media platforms. Not all your members should be able to be in church, especially if it's a big church, right? You have to observe social distancing. A lot of these things are not being done and by these so-called leaders of these churches. So there lies a problem. The church needs to play its role. And when you have the church violating the rules and regulation of the country, it says a lot about the person who's in charge of the church. And there lies a serious problem where the church should be one of the organizations that is upholding law and order, and the church is disobeying orders. Now, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, according to the Jamaica Observer, is saying they will be charging the church leader will be persecuted for this act, which I endorse fully. We have to let stiffer and sterner measures come into place for persons to understand that the country is serious about preventing and stopping this dreaded virus from wiping out the elderly and for destroying the economy of the country. So at this point as we speak, I laud the Prime Minister for doing this. However, we have to have the police, the Jamaica Defence Force, to instill and be firm and keep these things going. Because guess what? As I said, I see tourists coming and they're disobeying the law and order. They're just going about their business. Nobody social distancing. No mask being worn. Now, it is only a recipe for disaster, and Jamaica must act and act very quickly to get this thing under control, that is not blown out and will cause another situation where the country is closed. We see in Bahamas is actually closing down because of this. We see other states that have opened early. We see where they have to be closing down because it's a reoccurrence of the virus. Persons, they get frustrated. Yes, we can understand that persons will get frustrated being at home for so long. No, they can't go out, they can't have their fun, they can't do this, they can't do that. But the longer you take to obey the rules and regulation, it's going to be the longer you're going to take to get out and for the country to be up and running. And as I say, this is my opinion. You can disagree with me respectfully in the comment section. But as I said, I think the moral issue is persons have to observe social distancing, wear their mask, and be very, very serious about this dreaded virus, because at the end of the day, it might not affect a lot of young people, but it will take the elderly out very easily. So on that note, we bring an end to this week's edition of My Opinion. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and click the notification bell, so as soon as another video is released, you'll be the first to be notified. So anyway, take care of yourself, take care of a loved one, be good. If you can't be good, be careful. Have a nice day.